Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to change a couple of settings so that you can edit faster with Premiere Pro. Now I've got a bunch of footage I've already brought into my bin, and I'm going to first make what's called proxy files. So once I drag this into the sequence, this little clip here isn't actually my footage, it's just a space that is referencing to the footage on the left here. Now we can pretend that this footage is 4K or heck even 8K now. It's not, but if it was that big or you had a really old computer, your computer might have a really hard time playing this back smoothly. You'd get choppiness or it would glitch. So to get rid of that, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to make what are called proxies, which are low resolution references to this high resolution footage here on the left. So to do that, I'm going to select all of my clips and I'm going to right click and go to proxy and create proxies. And it's asking basically how low of a resolution or what kind of footage do you want these proxies to be. So I'm going to leave these settings as is, H.264 low resolution proxy, and I'm going to hit OK. And once I do that, it is going to open up Media Encoder, which is another Adobe product that basically just converts files. And there it is. It's already cruising through those files. Now, depending on how much footage you have and what kind, this process can take a bit of time, but if you were to try and just edit with your original high resolution footage, you're in the long run probably going to save time making these proxies. So it looks like these are all wrapped up, so I'm going to close this guy. And I'm just going to slap some footage in here real quick. Sure, and this doesn't really matter. I'm just throwing some stuff in there for the purposes of this video. And so once you have your footage in here, you can tell it to activate those proxies by hitting this little guy here, toggle proxies. So it is going to be using the low resolution footage, but once you export your final video, it's going to ignore the proxies and then reference that original high resolution footage that you imported at the very beginning. If you're not seeing this button on your toolbar here, click on this little plus icon and then you'll be able to find it and drag it down here and then hit OK. So I've got that guy toggled on. Another cool option up in this playback window is this global FX mute button. So if I were to have a bunch of effects applied to these clips, maybe a bunch of color correction ones, or if I added some grain, I'll actually throw something on really quick. Great. And let me toggle that off. And so you can see I've got this blue color correction on top of these clips here. And if you have a ton of clips in here with a ton of effects and it's really high resolution, your computer might struggle to process all of that stuff. So if you're not really focusing on the color and more of the pacing and arrangement of your footage, you can hit this FX button here and it will toggle those off. So it'll give you a smoother playback without trying to process all of those added on effects. So that's another really cool toggle you can use in this window to speed up your editing. Another one to note is this little drop down section in the right here that says full. Now this is referring to the resolution in this playback window. Again, if you're just working on the pacing and assembly of your clips down here, you can click on this guy, and I almost always have it on at least half resolution. And, oh, come on. It's hard to tell, but this resolution is actually half the resolution of that original one. So that is another way to kind of speed up your editing process. Now, the last thing I want to show you is how to render in and out points. So let me throw in some graphics real quick. Here's some text. And let me trim this up a little bit. And now you can see it's got this red and yellow bar here, which means that this section of our sequence has graphics that it hasn't rendered yet. So you can see that text is really pixelated, and if I were to play this back, it'd probably be really choppy. Now, if I had a really long sequence that was several minutes long and I told it to render out that entire sequence, it could take forever. But I only need to render out this, God, it's only like a second long. So I'm gonna just set an out point, and I could also set an in point over here, but I'm gonna set my in point there. And then I can come up to the very top and hit sequence, render into out. And it's only gonna focus on this range and render that out. So now I got that green on my timeline showing me that it's all rendered, and I have that crispy looking text. It could be a little bit crispier, but I got it playing back at half resolution. So even that is not the true resolution right there. So those are just a couple of settings you can adjust in Premiere Pro to get your computer to edit a little bit faster. If you have questions on how to do any of this or want some one-on-one help, please contact the Multimedia Lab. Thanks for watching.